wanted me to share something with you today. So I was in the Word today reading about the story about Rahab. And Rahab, she was a hooker, a prostitute, call girl, whatever you want to call her. She lived in a city of sin, right? And it was a place where you couldn't leave or you couldn't get out. And there were some spies, who got in, and the city found out about it. People of the city found out about it, and they were trying to capture them and kill them. So they came across Rahab's home, and Rahab let them in, and she hid them, and this was, an opportunity for her to have a way out. So she pretty much made a deal with the spies that, she hide them, that they would save her and her family, that they can get out too, you know. And of course, God helped her. These were the men of God, and they, kept that deal, with some instructions that she needed to follow, right? But it was because of her faith that helped her to be free, helped her and her family to become free, And as I was reading that story, there's so many good nuggets you can get from that. But one thing that I got out of that was she was a hooker, and she lived in a city of sin where you couldn't get in and you couldn't get out. Sometimes we can feel like we're trapped in our circumstances, in our status. Sometimes, you may live in a place that people think that you can't get out of. Even we may do that within ourselves from our past hurts or pains that can block us from going further, from doing something more, But the saying that we are not our circumstances is real. We are not our circumstances, especially when we trust in God and we have faith that He can bring us out. Sometimes other people can make us feel like we can't do nothing with ourselves. There's nothing more in us, that God won't use us. God can't use us. That's not so. Look at the underdogs like Rahab. She was an underdog. She was a prostitute. Who in the world would think that she would be part of Jesus' lineage? So I think about that, and it just empowers me to think that God has more for His children if we trust and believe Him that He can do it. When you understand who you are in God, those negative thoughts and those negative sayings or things that people may come at you with, you can just shoot them down because you trust in God and what He says about you and where you're going to go, right? He can do, more things that we can never ask or think, So just thinking about that story, her desire was to be free. And many of us, we desire to be free. But if we trust God, we can be. Not trust what other people say or think about us. Because they're only looking at us from their level. But God sees more. God sees more in you. And you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So trust in His way. Trust in His lead, because He can do it. All right? So that's all I wanted to share. I hope it was a blessing. And until next time, produces